There's been a lot of debate recently about what books you should read. There have been people who are reading from the Viking myths and sagas and other mythology books. Yes, I use the dreaded word mythology. If you can't tell, on the bottom, it says retold from ancient Norse texts. All right? They took this book and they took the prose Edda and the poetic Edda and they wrote a good set of Viking myths. They took stories from Saxo Grammaticus and from the Icelander tales to all mix in to having a Viking myths and sagas book. It's a great book. Great set of stories in there. But if you're going to base your religion off a book on mythology, you need to know the differences. You need to delve deeper. This other book off to the side is the Poetic Edda, translated by Jackson Crawford. Move it a little bit so you can see it a little bit better. It is another book that has the tales and stories. There's another one called the Prose Edda. There is tales by Saxo Grammaticus. Dozens of other books. What I often tell people is read multiple translations. Read multiple books. The mythology book is not a bad book. It gives you this basic information and knowledge. The only difference is they took that book and they filled in gaps. They have a horn called the Galar horn that is used by Mimir in the well to give Odin wisdom when he drank from the well. And all of a sudden, Odin's giving it to Heimdall. Nowhere in the prose or poetic Edda or archaeological evidence do they actually have this. It is an added-on story. It was filling the gaps in a book from incomplete stories. No one today knows whether that's actually really what it was or if it was a type of horn. But there is no connection that we can see, no evidence of a connection between the two tales. But what mythology is added in. And there are other ones in the mythologies that have been added in to make a story in sequence. To tell a story from the front to the end. That's not what the sagas do. The sagas tell one story. And combined, all the different poems and sagas, they tell all the stories of the gods and the heroes. But don't get stuck on just, this book's bad, that book's bad. Read them all. But know what you're reading. Go through and read enough translations of the poetic and prose Edda that you see the differences. And know what's not in the other ones. Do your own research. But at the end of the day, reading books is only as good as the books you read. The books is not the religion. Practicing the religion is the religion, or the faith. Just reading a book, listening to dogma, find your own path. Your path's not wrong. It's your path. Too many people get stuck on, this is the only way, or that's the only way, or we have to do this. No. Nowhere does it say you have to do that. There have been things added on to the Oz of True Faith again and again that were not part of the original belief system.